Hello, Miss Tammy DeMirza. How are you? It's been a long time. I miss you.
I miss you too, sweetheart. It's precious to see you.
Precious to see you too. It's too bad you're in such an awful place. Poor you. But she's out in the tropics. She deserves it. She
I am
works hard.
in Cancun working with my business coach.
Oh,
I'm
awesome.
working on my second book,
Good.
and my boyfriend is actually here doing the vital planning for elevated living, and that kind of salvaged the relationship too. Him being able to get him as a mentor too. So I believe in having mentors. This is my first that I've been able to have. I believe in being held accountable consistently for what we're doing.
Yeah, and
And
sometimes a
somebody
mentor, it
else,
takes a mentor to do that, not your best friend
it,
or
it
family member.
really,
Yeah.
it's important that if we really, really want to accelerate our growth, we are going to hire somebody consistently, not only to hold us accountable, but to give us different perspectives, different views, different ways of looking at things. And because we think from such a limited view, Alyssa, as you know,
Mm-hmm.
we are
That's
thinking
true.
from a 3D reality, and really most of us are just looking half through our eyes. And when you hire a mentor like me or like Tony J. Salimi or anybody else that really is able to do that kind of mentoring, I know there's hundreds of thousands of them. There's just not one. There's one for you. And
That's
so if you
right.
hire people like that that are also intuitive, like Tony and I are, then there's a whole other level to that, because when you're bullshitting, and thank you, Alyssa, because I have told my clients that have come from you and all that you do, the great things that you do. I have told them many times, Alyssa warned you all, do not come to me if you think you're going to bullshit Tammy, because I'm intuitive. I know when you're lying.
I know. And you know what? I want a mentor that has a really well honed bullshit meter that will
Yes.
not pull any punches. Kind of reminds me of my fifth grade teacher, Miss Brooks. Oh, I was so scared when she was going to be my teacher, and everybody was afraid of her. But oh my God, she was firm. She didn't pull any punches. But she was full of love. And so that's the kind of mentor I think we need. So let's talk about, well, anything related to this exciting upcoming event at my place, Eric's home. It's October 11th through the 13th. You will be hosting, and I'm sure it will be just as amazing as the last one, where people left absolutely transformed. Uh, Heart, soul, mind, the whole gamut, including me.
Oh,
So
wow. That's
I'll
good.
I'll give you the floor.
Okay. What we're going to be doing, first of all, it's my 60th birthday. Not
Happy
exactly
birthday,
how
then.
I would think about sharing my birthday on that weekend. My birthday is October 13th, but I'm willing to do it because I know that we need to get ourselves into the place of, instead of our energy being frenetic, not knowing how to get in touch with heart energy, not knowing how to get your own answers. I think that a lot of intuitives and mediums really incapacitate people sometimes by just saying, oh, I'll give you this information. Oh, I'll give you this information. But this workshop is really attributed and guided to the individuals that attend, whether they are attending remotely or whether or not they're in person. I'm going to be working live with people to help them to know when they're out of alignment with their intuitive heart abilities and when they are in alignment. And once you see that, it's kind of like going to or listening to a bunch of Abraham Hicks, meetings where
Yeah.
after a while you kind of get the message, you understand that, you're asking for things. The universe is genie. It comes up and says, your wish is my command. We are at all times creating, and we are creating our own reality. And
So we
the
better
work,
do it right. Better create
yes,
a good one, man.
well, we're predominantly, did you know, Alyssa, that 70% of everything that we do and decisions that we make are on 70% are on an unconscious level?
Wow.
So there's only 30% or less, according to the variations of where you are energetically, there's only 30% that you're really cognitively, consciously making decisions. So this workshop is to teach you how to understand what happens in the body, physically, mentally, emotionally, connecting the body, mind, spirit, and feeling, getting in alignment with guidance from, like you said, an intuitive that's going to hold you accountable but love you, which is what my mentor does. And it's what I do for the people, to get you into that place of you have an opportunity to be with someone who's done mastery level work here. And in doing the mastery level work myself, the ability to scan the person's body, which you saw much of in the last workshop, where I'm actually reading the mind, I'm reading the emotions, I'm reading the unconscious, I'm reading the physical, and teaching you guys how to do that for yourself is when you move into the empowering state of you consciously making your decisions instead of unconsciously. So when you think about that, 70% of the time, most likely, you are making unconscious decisions. And I want to tell you something that I learned in a very frustrating way. Alyssa, I was really and had been studying the laws of attraction for many years.
Yeah, of
And I was
course.
at that juncture where I had been able to manifest miracles immediately, but I was noticing that there was a striking difference in my personal life and the things that mattered the most to me. And that's because the unconscious was actually dictating what my private personal experience was, and things that I didn't have attachments or issues with or belief systems attached to that are in the unconscious realm. What would happen is that I couldn't manifest them. I couldn't change the things that really mattered the most to me. I
Yeah, you
was
thought,
stuck.
well, I'm thinking all the right thoughts for the right amount of time, et cetera, et cetera.
And the issue with that is that when you're very disciplined, like you are and I are, and you can force yourself to think, no, change your thought, no, change your thought, no, think of better feeling thought. When it's not happening, I started asking the questions, what if there's an unconscious realm and there's a conscious realm, part of me, I should say, and what if the unconscious trumps the conscious? It does,
Yeah.
because 70% of it is in the unconscious. So
Yeah.
this workshop is to get you into understanding that difference, knowing why only 3% of the population know what they want, because
Wow.
you're used to really just coping with life. You're
And
used to just surviving, just taking care of this issue, and another issue rises up, and becoming more empowered to feel the body, to feel the emotions, to know what the difference is when you have hit it. You've hit that golden spot. You've hit that sweet spot, they call it, of the heart energy, and you go, oh my gosh, that's my answer. So
yeah, it
one
has
of
to
the,
all be in alignment. Like Erik says, the four roommates: the heart, the mental, the physical, and the spiritual. I guess roommates have to be in alignment, and in almost all of us, something is not in line, and or even maybe none of it's aligned. Let me ask you one real quick question, or actually a couple. Regarding the meeting, you're selling remote tickets, and so can you read the unconscious thoughts of people and run their energy and help them out and call their bullshit on them from completely across the globe?
yes,
Wow.
I've done energy sessions on people in Africa, Canada, Norway, Sweden. I've done energy sessions on people, and I ask them to lay down. And when I'm working on them, I'll say, your knee just started hurting, your right knee, on the inside of your right knee. And they say, how do you know that? And I said, well, I'm an empath and I feel it, and I'm reading the energy around it, and I know what is involved in the emotional realm. So spirit is not confined to time, space, reality.
Well, that's true.
That is us just in this physical looking from a limited perspective. Spirit sees every thought you've ever had, every person you've ever met, every discovery that every joke you've ever heard, every color you've ever seen, every person that has passed you in a store, and in all lifetimes.
Yeah, in the
So
future
really,
too. What you're going to do and think and meet and all that in the future as well, in this life and other lives.
exactly. So when I'm working with an individual or in a group setting, I am using the compilation of all things known in the non-physical, which is very helpful because if we're in a certain predicament and we're in poverty and we're struggling with that, do you know what we do? We try to justify it by saying, well, I'm not as bad as that person, and I'm not as bad a shape as that person. That's just a justification. That's just a way to make yourself comfortable. Why not deal with it? If you're
Yeah.
unhappy because you're in poverty, then something is out of alignment with you. Let's get it.
Yeah,
Let's
justifications would just allow you to stay, out of alignment. So, like you did last time with the people who physically attend, are you going to work one-on-one with them?
Well, I'm offering premium packages for the
Oh, yeah,
people
that's right.
that do in person and the people that do remote. The
Okay.
people in person get the biggest discount because they're spending the most money.
Yeah, well,
So
that's true.
you're only going to pay $300, and my rate's $500 an hour. So they're only going to pay $300, and the people that do remote are paying the same price as the in-person premium, but they're still getting a great deal at $375, and I have to
Yeah.
book them separately.
Okay.
And I have a lot of openings for that. I only have a certain amount of openings for the people that go to the trouble to be there in person.
I know,
Once
and they booked up pretty fast last time.
they
So,
booked up really fast, and I think after the promoting that you and I are going to do and it's really an offering, and it's just letting you know this is what you have an opportunity to participate in.
yeah.
You have an opportunity to tap into your own well-being, to feel your energy, to know what is in alignment, what is not in alignment, and to start to get your own answers. And one of the ways, I'm just going to tell you this, one of the ways that I was told to do this at a very young age when I'm frustrated and I'm talking to God about it, or the universe, or however you want to call that, I was like, how do I know what is the best choice for me? Because I was thinking about friends, and I was thinking about boyfriends, and I was thinking about future, and I was thinking about whether or not I took a job. I would always hear, Tammy, say it aloud and then feel your body, feel your energy. So I would say, I'm going to take the job at Belk's. And then I would just I would close my eyes and feel my energy. And then I would say, I'm going to take the job over here as a clerical, as a secretary. And I would stop and feel that energy. And I would hear this guidance going as I'm doing this. Tammy, what did you feel? What does the energy feel like? Does it feel easy? Does it feel peaceful? Does it feel exciting? Does it feel good? Does it feel positive? Or does it feel heavy? Does it feel, oh, that's just a bit uncomfortable? That doesn't feel good. Why does that feel? Why do I feel frustrated? And that's a lot of what we're going to be doing, is really helping you to know that the soul and the heart of you and the spirit of you has all the answers for you. I think we need to be working and offering things that help people to get into their own empowered state. Because you can't have somebody like me. I can't have my mentor 24 hours a day, and people can't have me. But to see me guide and love, to see me reveal the truth, to see me give all of these, as you all know from the last workshop, all of this information I cannot possibly know. What about this? Don't you think that has something to do with where you are right now? And giving those details, you saw people transform.
Oh, yeah.
Because somebody is reaching them on a private level and saying, you're loved, you matter, we know you. You just need a little bit of help.
So you
Go ahead.
so you channel a lot of this information and tools, etc., to them from other beings, from their higher selves.
I would say that channeling it is one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is that I've done enough work that everybody's really naked
Yeah.
in front of me. So if I need to know something about them, like Alyssa, you can imagine, I can't go out in public and have this on all the time.
Oh God,
I would see everything, read every thought. That movie that Mel Gibson did of What Women Want, and he's hearing.
oh
I
yes, that
hear
was
the thoughts.
funny.
I hear the thoughts. I know what's behind the thoughts. I know what happened to them to have the thoughts, to have that thought with me. I mean, it's like
Oh my
every,
God, your poor children.
well, yeah, yeah, my poor
That's a
children.
nightmare parent.
I have agreements with my children that unless they come to me, I won't tell them. My son is the only one that I'll say, okay, this is going to happen in 90 days. And he'll go, yeah, right. No. He's a left brain thinker. He's in the medical field.
Hmm.
And then each month I would say, you know that I told you this is going to happen in 90 days. Yeah, Mom. Okay. Yeah. All right. And then right before the 90 days, it happened. And I went, okay, you have been dealing with this since you were an infant with your mom.
I
When are you
know.
going to get it? But everybody has their own way of going through their other journey. That's the other thing that I would say.
Yeah,
We spend
exactly.
way too much time looking at what we're doing wrong instead of looking at what we can do. You feel the shift in that energy. We're beating ourselves up. I was dealing with somebody just 2 days ago and saying, you are addicted to pain.
Wow.
You're addicted to it. So all of your thoughts, all of what you do, your behavior shows that addiction. And now he is starting to vacillate and go, oh, that's about feeding the pain body. I don't want to do that anymore. And I'm like, yeah, but until someone, Alyssa, and that's the point of this workshop, until someone says, this is what you're doing, you really can't choose if you're just acting like a victim if you're not aware. So if
Absolutely.
somebody sits before you and says, this is what you're doing, now simply you get to choose. I have no judgment. I have no thoughts of what is right or wrong for you. Same thing with the universe, same thing with God. There's only love and neutrality. Then I go, okay, now you can choose. Now you're empowered. And that's a lot of what this workshop is about,
Yeah.
is getting into the nitty gritty of what is going on with people, what's behind that scene, what's the layering process of this happened when you were 3. I can tell you the details of it. You saw some of that occurring in the
Oh
workshop.
yeah.
And
Hmm.
then all of a sudden, they're lighter because somebody sees them, somebody knows them. There's an awareness, we're reaching for them. And it's heart, love, energy. It's precious.
Exactly. It's going to be so exciting. Now, I know there will be the premium where you spend an hour or whatever with them in private. But will you still like do a little like you did before, like a 3 minute this or that with the members of the audience?
This entire workshop will be predominantly working with people.
Okay, good.
I am going to teach less on this workshop. I feel like I gave so much last time that people are like spinning, like it took me days to assimilate this. So
Yes,
I don't want to overwhelm. My heart as a teacher, Alyssa, is I want to give you as much as I can give you in this time frame. What
exactly.
I feel that this is more of is I'm going to be introducing the concepts to let people know the spiritual laws, the way that it works in the mental, the physical, and the emotional realm, those bodies, those parts of us. And then we're just going to dig in and do the work. So every single person is going to be dealt with. And it's going to be a whole lot more than 3 minutes because we've got 2 half days and a full day.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's going to be so awesome for you guys. You need to book now before we run out of space because my house is only so large, and of course there's only so many premium sessions that she can do. So
Right?
it must be exhausting for you, really.
No, let me tell you what happened. I'm not using because it's not coming from me personally, and I'm not attached to whether or not the person gets it or they get freedom or they have a breakthrough. In your house, Alyssa, just to give you an example, because we didn't have a massage table in at that time because I was doing a healing workshop, I was scanning the body and I knew to put my hands underneath the shoulders of one of your people. And it was on your bed, which, by the way, guys, I got to tell you something. Being in Alyssa's house and seeing her and her animals and her family and what the house looks like and the love and the acceptance, you can't pay for that. I mean, there's not enough money to pay you for that. Alyssa, you're so beautiful with what you do.
Yeah.
And how many things you offer people and how open you are, like, come on in, your family. I mean,
Of course. We are all one after all.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just my way of, like, you don't have to pay for a venue, so the ticket prices don't have to be so high because, you know, I give my house for free. And I don't get any money from it, so you haters.
No, it doesn't. I can vouch for her. It does not go to you.
Yeah.
Although I'm going to tell you right now, you should get paid.
Nah.
That's well, we can have arguments about it. But anyway, this client is laying on your bed, and I just gently put my hand, start running the energy, and all of a sudden, she broke, started crying her eyes out, and talking about, I should have protected my daughter. And see, I'm not even talking.
Wow.
I'm going into the subconscious and dealing with without speaking, because if I speak so much when I'm doing energy sessions, then I'm having to explain. I'd rather just go in, go deeper. There's all these levels of consciousness that we can go into. I just go into it, put my hands on her, and all of a sudden she's breaking and saying, I should have protected your daughter. I said, no, let me tell you why you couldn't. Let me tell you about her contract. Let me explain this to you. She walked out free. So in these private sessions, they're going to be different. They're not going to be energy sessions, but I'm still scanning the body. I'm still running energy. I have people now that are starting to realize that just emailing me, they're getting healed. One of my clients has been with me for 2 years as a mentoring client. Told me the other day, she said, even if I talk to you for 5 minutes, I experience new healings. I have new things popping up. When you've been with somebody who has really humbled themselves to do their own clearings, then the energy of me doing those clearings and that love energy that expands, it's addictive. You get it and you're like, I want that for myself. Yes. So I'm like, okay, let's give it to you. I'm not special. I'm not gifted. You're just like me. We have the same brains. We have the same functions. Let me show you how to do it. And that's what this workshop is about. It's exciting.
That's very empowering. I'm telling you. Now, so how long do people undergo mentoring? I mean, some people, of course, I guess they're all different. Some do it the rest of their lives, but, you know, what is a typical number of mentoring sessions a person would have?
I would say that it's according to how far you want to go. For me, I offer a 6-week package. Mm-hmm. I also offer a 2-day. For everybody that has come for the 2-day, they actually come into my home.
Oh, cool.
And I spend every minute with them. We go to dinner together. I cook breakfast. We go to lunch together. We go to dinner together. And then they usually leave on the 3rd morning. They come in the night before. We spend 2 days. Alyssa, that's intense because that's 6-hour days. And at dinner or lunch, they can ask me anything they want. And we're working through, I mean, I say it's 12 hours, but it's so much more than that. Because
of course.
Yeah. And I also give gifts to people who come into my home. I love surprising them with something or, you know, doing something special for breakfast that I intuitively know they're going to love.
Oh, that's cool. And what an experience.
Everybody that's done that says I'm not the same. The last lady that did it, I was in her home in Chattanooga. She lives in Chattanooga, but she came into my home because the sequestering of being in my space with that love energy, that vibration, knowing you've got me downstairs because you have your own bedroom upstairs on the 3rd floor. You've got me for that. Knowing I can ask you anything. I can talk about anything. You're going to disclose things. You're going to get to the bottom of things. We're going to do ceremonies. We do all kinds of things. Everybody is different. She said to me, because we're friends, and we became friends because of the work that I do with her. And I was sitting beside her on the sofa, and she said, I'm really kind of digging the changes. I'm not the same person. And my mother, who I was having all these fights with, said, what happened to you? What happened to you? You're not the same person. And she said, well, I have a mentor. So it's really, it's really how far you want to go.
Yeah, of
Some people
course.
have been mentoring with me for 2.5 years, every other week. Some people do a 6-week segment, and then they'll say, I know I need you again, but they want to assimilate that information, you
Now,
know?
the 6 weeks, is that like on Zoom or Skype?
It's on, if you're international, I'll do it Zoom. If it's in the US, I usually do it by phone.
Oh, by phone.
Because
Okay.
the
Okay.
diversion of having the camera on and people worrying about what they look like or what they
Oh,
sound like,
yeah. Yeah.
I found that on the phone is more intense because they don't have the distractions of, did I put my makeup on right? Did I do this? You see what I'm saying?
Oh, I know. I was just looking, oh my God, what's this bump?
See?
I got to put it down. Get down. Behave. Behave. All right. So, y'all do not forget October 11th through 13th. Start making your plans if you want to change your life. And if you want your life to go in the right direction and reclaim your power, perhaps for the first time in your life. So check that out. I am going to obviously put information, as I've been doing, on the blog and on all my social media. Plus, there's a little a little button on the right hand sidebar of the home page of the blog that you can click on to find out more. Anything else you want to share, Tammy, before we
I
close?
just want to say that there's nothing that we have done, nothing that I ever do or don't do makes me unworthy of love. Same thing with all of your listeners. No matter what you have done, no matter what you haven't done, you are worthy of love. Do you matter?
Yeah,
If
we
you
are love.
then you're going to get in front of somebody that can teach you things that are tangible, not just make you feel good for 15 minutes, and then after you leave a workshop, you're no different. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yes,
It's
absolutely.
about getting into the deeper work and the practicality of getting tangible ways. This applies to me personally. And
Yeah.
if that matters to you, then this offering is probably something you would consider. If you're
Okay.
not ready, then that's perfect too.
Yes,
There's no pressure.
that's right. All
A
right.
week to attend, we're going to work.
Yes. All right, guys. Check out TammyDeMirza.com. I'll put it right here. And I want to tell you one thing, you know, before you and I stop. So, all right, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Love you.